If you've ever experienced foods triggering a migraine, you'll be interested to know that they're not actually the cause of your headaches and migraines. So that's what we're going to be going through today. What actually causes a migraine and what you can do to treat it. Hi, I'm Dr. Beth, an osteopath here at Melbourne Headache Solutions. If you're there, say hi, and if you've got any questions or queries, drop them below and I'll get back to you. So, we know the common foods that will trigger a migraine. These include alcohol, specifically red wine, cheeses, chocolates. For some people it's things like citrus, and for other people it can be things like gluten. So why do these foods trigger a migraine? But specifically in that sentence, I'm using the word trigger. They trigger a migraine. So they need to trigger something, and that something is brainstem sensitization, okay? But as I said, it's not the cause. These foods aren't the cause, or else they would give a migraine to everybody who ate them, and that's just simply not true. It only happens in select people, and different foods affect different people. So, as I said, these foods trigger a migraine, and they trigger this brainstem sensitization. Now, how does that occur? Well, the lowest part of the brainstem actually sits in the upper part of the neck. And when the upper part of the neck becomes chronically dysfunctional, chronically stiff and tight, then it can lead to this sensitization of the brainstem, and the brainstem is responsible for all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But its main role, when it comes time for a migraine, is it gives you all those associated features, such as dizziness, nausea, vomiting, light, sound and smell sensitivity, as well as the classic head pain that you can get in a migraine. So, as I said, those foods will trigger a migraine, but if you didn't have that sensitized brainstem, it wouldn't have anything to trigger. So, what we need to do is treat those neck dysfunctions, as well as treat that brainstem sensitization in order for anything to change, and then those foods don't set off a migraine anymore. So you also have those other people that do have sensitivities, like allergies as well, to certain foods. So there's been quite a connection between people who have like celiac disease, as well as headaches and migraines. So when they remove gluten from their diet, then their headaches and migraines can disappear as well. So it's because their body is actually fighting them and having an autoimmune response. So that's why they disappear. So that's a different kettle of fish as well. So you've kind of got those two classes there. So I've also got people that come in and they go, look, I honestly don't know whether I've got a food trigger or not. Because they go, look, I drank alcohol last night and then I had a headache the next day. But I promise it's not a hangover. But I've got like my normal headache, or I've got my normal migraine. So like I believe it's a trigger. But the thing is though, with the way that our metabolism works and how we digest things, if a food trigger is going to affect you, it's going to affect you in the next couple of hours. It's not going to affect you the next day. So you would see something happening between 2 to 4 hours. So if you eat chocolate, you're going to see something happening in the next 2 to 4 hours. Same with alcohol, because that's how quickly our metabolism and our digestive system works. Okay? So, as I said, if you drink alcohol one day and then you get a headache the next day, it's more coincidental timing. So that's how you know if you've got a food trigger. But as I was saying before, a lot of people also, they don't just get headaches and migraines with their food triggers. They also get it in between these food triggers as well. So either due to stress, they've slept funny, or they're just popping up randomly as well. So that's how we know, most frequently, that it's not the food that's causing the pain, it's that brainstem sensitization. So we need to address both. So if you think that your neck is the cause of your headaches and migraines, or you're still a little unsure, comment down below, survey, and we'll send you a quick questionnaire that will determine whether your neck is the cause of your headaches and migraines. So I also had a question earlier from Kelly, and she's like, wouldn't constant migraines be an underlying issue for something else. And she also shared her story about her having an event that mimicked a stroke, and it turned out that it was a migraine. So this is actually called a hemiplegic migraine, where it mimics a stroke, and it's a very, very, very scary event. So thankfully it did just turn out to be a migraine, but you know, you want to rule out everything else to make sure that it is a migraine. So that was wonderful that they did. But in terms of the first part of the question, wouldn't constant migraines be an underlying issue for something else? Everybody that comes into the clinic, we do rule out anything sinister when they come in. So we sort of assume that you have something sinister and work backwards, because we certainly don't want to miss anything that could be causing a headache and a migraine that's caused by something sinister, as I said. So we don't assume that it's the neck, we assume that it's something else and work backwards. But headaches and migraines are caused by something sinister in a very small percentage of people, and are very rare. So in more than 80% of people, they're caused by the neck, but in less than 5% of people are they caused by something sinister. So there is a very small percentage. So thank you very much for your question, Kelly. So if you've got any more questions, anybody, please drop them below and I'll get back to you. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you next week.